Welcome to Tales of Honor, a podcast with a mission to tell the true stories of every recipient of our nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Tales of Honor podcast. This is episode number 621, and I don't have any birthdays to go over today. I will have one on the next episode, and I hope you all are having a wonderful, relaxing, thought-provoking Memorial Day weekend. This actually kind of coincides with today's episode, which I found very, very interesting. Not planned whatsoever. Today's recipient actually, as you will learn, gave an honor to the Vietnam Unknown Soldier, and that was done on Memorial Day in 1984, and you'll learn a little bit more about that today, but I found that very interesting that it fell on today's episode, which is going to be the weekend of Memorial Day. Tomorrow is a day that is used to pay respects to those who gave their life in payment to the cost of freedom that we enjoy every single day. And while I know there are some people who like to make posts and talk about how it's not a happy day, blah, 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 but I would actually kind of push against that a little bit. And I will say that it is a day, it should be a solemn day in which we remember and honor those who did pay the ultimate price for a country and for members of this country that they love so much. And because of that honor that we should have for those people, we should live a life that is worthy of their sacrifice. So it is okay to have a barbecue. It's okay to get together with friends and family and have a good time, so long as that we remember that the reason that we get to have lives like this in this country today is because of the price that was paid by those in the recent past, but also long, all the way dating back to the beginning of this country. So that's all I'm going to digress about today, and we shall get into today's tale of honor. Allan was born on the 1st of October 1943 in Bethel, Connecticut, where he also grew up and attended school. He dropped out of high school at the age of 16 and enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps the following year on the 14th of November 1960. After boot camp at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot at Parris Island, Allan went through individual combat training at Camp Lejeune and was then assigned to Company K, 3rd Battalion, 2nd Marine Division at Camp Lejeune. At the end of his first enlistment, he was faced with the decision to get out of the Marines or re-enlist and be sent to Vietnam. Allan decided to re-enlist for a year just to see if he truly had what it took to go through combat after years of just training. By March of 1966, he was deployed to the Republic of Vietnam, and he spent his first tour with Company F, 2nd Battalion, 9th Marines, 3rd Marine Division, and deployed again in December of 1969, this time with Company A, 1st Battalion, 26th Marines. Allan was then reassigned to Company G, 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, 1st Marine Division, and it was his actions just 3 months into his deployment that would later earn him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads,
Gunnery Sergeant Allan J Kellogg Jr., while serving as Platoon Sergeant with Company G, 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, 1st Marine Division, Republic of Vietnam, 11 March 1970.
For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while serving as a platoon sergeant with Company G in connection with combat operations against the enemy on the night of 11 March 1970. Under the leadership of Gunnery Sergeant Kellogg, a small unit from Company G was evacuating a fallen comrade when the unit came under a heavy volume of small arms and automatic weapons fire from a numerically superior enemy force occupying well-concealed emplacements in the surrounding jungle. During the ensuing fierce engagement, an enemy soldier managed to maneuver through the dense foliage to a position near the Marines and hurled a hand grenade into their midst, which glanced off the chest of Gunnery Sergeant Kellogg. Quick to act, he forced the grenade into the mud in which he was standing, threw himself over the lethal weapon, and absorbed the full effects of its detonation with his body, thereby preventing serious injury or possible death to several of his fellow Marines. Although suffering multiple injuries to his chest and his right shoulder and arm, Gunnery Sergeant Kellogg resolutely continued to direct the efforts of his men until all were able to maneuver to the relative safety of the company perimeter. By his heroic and decisive action in risking his life to save the lives of his comrades, Gunnery Sergeant Kellogg reflected the highest credit upon himself and upheld the finest traditions of the Marine Corps and the U.S. Naval Service. Allan remained in Vietnam and was again wounded 2 months later, this time being evacuated to a hospital in Japan where he was informed that he would be receiving the Navy Cross. 5 months later, he was discharged from the hospital and by December was assigned to be an instructor at the Field Medical Service School at Camp Pendleton, California. On the 15th of October, 1973, Allan's Navy Cross was upgraded and he received the Medal of Honor from President Nixon in a ceremony at the White House along with 8 others. He was serving at the Marine Barracks at Pearl Harbor in 1975 during the fall of Saigon and wheeled in a television set for junior Marines to see what was happening during the evacuation of the U.S. Embassy. In 1984, Allan was the first to designate the casket of an unknown service member in a ceremony at Pearl Harbor. This casket was then transported to Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland and was displayed in the Capitol Rotunda. On Memorial Day 1984, President Reagan presented the Medal of Honor to this unknown service member who was later identified as First Lieutenant Michael Blassie. Allan retired from the Marine Corps in 1990 after 30 years of service and at the rank of Sergeant Major. He worked at the Department of Veterans Affairs in Hawaii and has one son, Aaron, who served in the Army's 173rd Airborne, and 2 daughters. Allan J Kellogg Jr. is 79 years old as of the time of this recording. And that was a tale of honor. Thank you for listening to Tales of Honor, and if you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family. Tales of Honor is written and produced by Christoph Ambrose, and theme music is Loyalty and Duty by Floruz Music. If you have any questions, you can send an email to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com, and please be sure to visit talesofhonorpodcast.com for more episodes and information.